Episode 5, Education versus Life Experience. Degrees or diving in, learning as we go.
Hi, I'm Ellie,
And I'm Jade,
and this is Really Fucking Trying.
a podcast where we talk about the ins and outs and ups and downs of running a small business and being creative.
Today, we're going to be comparing education to life experience. Is it essential to get a degree, or have we learnt more just diving in? And we're also joined by Kate from Kate's Bakes, who makes the most delicious treats. I didn't write that.
I really like that. How would you
Thanks, Ellie.
describe them? They are delicious.
Yeah, I agree. So are we diving right in?
Kate, do you want to introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about your business.
So my name is Kate. My business is Kate's Bakes, and Chloe is in the name. I bake cakes, wedding cakes, cookies, brownies, anything of the kind, really. Tasty stuff, yeah. And that is about as exciting as I get.
How long have you been doing it?
So I started in lockdown. So what's that? 5 years ago now.
Yeah.
2020. I mean, I've been baking since I was about probably like 8,
Oh,
but like properly 5 years. Yeah.
amazing. Fab.
Yeah, have you got anything else
Plug
to
it.
say?
Plug yourself. Where can we follow you on Instagram?
So my Instagram is Kate's Bakes XX. I don't post that much, but if you ever want anything, I do respond. But to be honest, my main thing is markets, really, and they don't kick off till like April time. So at the moment, it's like I take orders and I'll do birthday cakes, or well, there's not really any weddings this time of year, but wedding cakes, treat boxes, and then when markets start, that's when it kind of goes crazy, and that's when I bake the most. But I work as well. I've got a part-time job in a cafe baking for them, so
Aw.
that fills my time at the moment, which
That's
is
so
quite
cute.
nice.
I didn't know that. That's really cute.
Yeah, so all I do is bake, basically.
That's
I
lovely.
actually knew that about you already.
Did you?
Yeah, I did,
That's progress. We've decided that we don't actually know anything about each other,
No.
so today's going to be us all learning
Yeah.
about each
We're
other.
going to learn about Kate with you.
Yeah, so enjoy.
So I've purposely not asked you about your education because I wanted to find out today.
Yeah.
I've no idea.
So I obviously went to high school. I went to a grammar school, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, I did fail the exam to get in.
Oh.
Um,
But you got in anyway.
but only by 1 mark.
They liked you.
Yeah, so I got in. And then I was there until year 11. Hated it. Well, I didn't hate it. From like year 9, I hated it because I had anxiety.
Oh.
And then I hated it. But I did my GCSEs, passed them all.
All
and
of
then,
them?
Yeah. Why are you so surprised? All of them?
I
did pass all of them.
I've
Did
only
you
got
not?
4.
No, I passed them all.
I've got 4 GCSEs.
I got English, maths, science, business, food tech. I got more, but I can't remember what. Spanish.
Business and food tech are the important ones for you,
Yeah.
I feel.
I got.
God,
I
I
got
didn't pass all my
loads.
GCSEs. I got a G in science. I didn't even know you
Did
could
you?
get a
Oh
G.
God, what does G stand for?
I'm shite.
Great job.
See, ours changed.
Good try.
Ours changed to numbers when we did it.
Oh, because you're a
So it was like,
baby.
yeah.
Oh God.
So it was like 1 to 9. So 9 was like A star, and then the bottom was like 1. But I got 5 and up in all of mine, which is like a high C or
Amazing.
low B.
Oh.
Don't know. They've
Well
changed
done,
it.
Kate.
Oh, all these
Thanks,
jokes
guys.
over all these years.
I
and
know.
you're
Yeah, I
actually-
know, because
you're
you've
more
never asked.
academically,
Kate's
you know,
just been sitting there
I've been asked.
silently,
Yeah.
the cleverest person in the room.
I'm actually really clever. When I left in year 11, I went to college, Liverpool City College, and did a professional bakery course.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Yeah, I know, guys. I'm clever. It was really easy, to be honest. One day a week, it was like you go in, you bake bread, you bake pastry, you mess around. That was it. And then the second day, it was like cake deck. So you do cake deck, and then you do a little bit of like theory work, but that was literally it. And it was 2 days a week. But I also worked in a cafe alongside that 3 days a week as well. So I did that for a year, and it was actually really good. Like they took us on an Alton Towers trip, and it was like Mary Berry was there doing like a
On a roller coaster.
Just a few minutes.
She was actually on Oblivion. No, but we stayed in like the Splashland Hotel. I don't know if you've been to Alton Towers. I fucking hate rides, so I mean the weekend wasn't great for me. But the first day it was like she'd come in and you could enter a competition to bake something and take it. I mean I again didn't enter because it just wasn't my vibe really. But then Mary Berry judged it. And like she did a tour.
Are you sure this
Why didn't you
happened?
enter?
Promise. I don't think I was very motivated.
Mm.
And everyone was making bread and stuff and I wasn't really like.
What's your favourite thing to bake?
See, people ask me this, and I feel like because the stuff I do at markets is obviously like brownies, cookie pies, like that's all very basic. So as much as they're like fun to bake, that's just kind of
Yeah.
that is like my job
Yeah.
to bake them. But if I'm doing like fun stuff, it'll be like big birthday cakes and like
Yeah.
treat boxes and stuff because they're actually fun and you can like if people say like, oh, just do whatever you want, put
You've
your own
got free
creative
reign then.
yeah, creative spin on it.
can't imagine what your creative spin would look like.
Have you not looked at Kate Spake's page?
There's one post on there.
Did you fucking post on it? Yeah.
There's one post a year. So that's probably like my favourite.
Must have been busy that day when you posted.
I know I posted 3 times for like 3 months.
I can't fucking talk, honestly.
Yeah, actually, I was going to say, Jade out of the 3 of us is the one that posts most. She's good. So yeah, I did that for a year. And then the second year you specialise in like bakery or the cake deck side. So obviously I specialised in cake deck. Hated my life, did 2 months, dropped out because I like to quit things. And then I worked in a dog hotel for like 6 months.
What?
So I've kind of done all aspects. It's like a posh kennels for dogs,
Okay.
basically.
Oh, was that not the best?
Yeah, like, I mean, fun, but also just, yeah, there was a lot of stuff behind the scenes that wasn't very good about it. But like the concept of playing with dogs every day was good until they'd shove you in a pen with 60 dogs and you'd be like, what do I do? And then they fight and then it's like, but other than that,
Staff of the dogs.
both. Bit of both.
So cakes is safer.
Yeah, so I did that like through a bit of lockdown, and then during lockdown was when I started doing like I'd just do brownie trays and people would come and collect them, and then they got dead popular. So I was like, I already had the business at that point. I'd started it like probably a year before, but it was just like on the side, like it wasn't a proper business.
Side hustle.
Yeah, a little side hustle. And then in the summer, I said to mum and dad, like, I hate this job, like I need to leave.
No.
And they were like, well, if you want to do cakes properly, then like do it. So I set it up as like a proper business and then did that.
How supportive.
Yeah, I know.
That's really cute.
I know. And then I was self-employed for like 4 years, didn't have another job, and then felt like I just needed something. Because like when I bake, I'm in my shed all the time on my
It's
own.
lonely, isn't it?
Shed. Just to explain, I have a shed that I've converted into a kitchen. It's not just like a
It's
random
really
shed.
cute. It looks really cute.
But obviously markets and stuff you're with people.
Yeah.
But when you're baking on your own, I mean, it's the same as like
Yeah.
whatever you do. So then, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Yeah. Then I got another job and just do that 2 days a week and I love it.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's
A little
really
social
nice.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find it like obviously Ellie works in the studio, doesn't she? But I work from home and it's very sad.
Definitely.
I suppose I'm quite lucky, really, because if anything, some days I'm like, oh, fucking hell, I wish I had like a day like
Yeah.
on my own, sealed off from society.
Yeah.
My whole life is that day.
I feel like people are going to take offence to that. I don't want anybody to take offence.
Did
to
you
that.
do it before you did it on your own, didn't you, before you had the studio or not?
Not really. I was a kid. It was just a hobby.
Oh.
I was 18 when I got the studio, I think.
How old are you now?
27. Be
Oh.
careful what you say.
That's quite a lot of years.
It's a lot of years.
That's a lot of
How
years.
many, Kate? Come on with your GCSEs.
9.
Ooh.
Get me. I
But
did
yeah,
get a
she
5
had-
in maths.
She had the studio before she had the business.
I
Oh,
did,
didn't
yeah.
know that.
No, I
Wait,
did.
did you say that on the first episode? Maybe you did.
Oh, so did you listen?
Oh, I did listen.
Oh, well, awkward.
Not well enough.
I have actually got a question for
Go
you.
on.
Do you not find wedding cakes dead stressful?
Yeah, I hate them.
Yeah.
Every time I do one, I say I'm never doing it again, and then I do it again.
I can't imagine anything.
It's
that.
the pressure.
Yeah.
But I've been quite lucky in the ones that I've done. It's for people that I've known.
Oh, okay.
So it's been a little bit less pressure. And they've not been like massive ones, like, you know, like 4-tier ones. 'Cause
Yeah.
if they said that, I'd be like, no, sorry.
You ever had a
Um,
bridezilla?
No.
No.
But that's because I've known majority, or like not known them, but it's been like, say, like I did one for my friend's sister.
Yeah, like a friend of a friend.
Yeah, so I feel like I've not really had any, and like I've got one this year in October, and that's for someone I know as well. So like, but I just don't take on that many, to be honest,
Yeah.
because they stress me out.
That's
Yeah.
good though.
Stress me out and I'm not even doing it.
I know.
I'm stressed on your behalf.
They send me a message and I get stressed. I'm like, oh my god, no, don't ask me.
Okay, right. Should we dive into education then?
We should, considering that is what the episode is called.
Okay.
That might be an idea.
That would be nice.
Okay, Ellie, would you like to talk about education? College?
Well, yeah, mine's a bit of a shit show. But so's yours by the sound of it. as well. So
I
we've
got
the-
GCSEs. Did you?
I got a HND, I'll have you know.
I don't even know what that is.
Exactly. She can't even spell
Because
it.
you're too old.
No, so I did college, which I said like in the first episode, and I did that I think 4.5 years altogether, and I loved that. I thought it was great. Again, for the first 2 years, I do think I liked it for all the wrong reasons, and I don't remember much of it except I know I had a good time, and I'm happy with that, to be honest. Did the HND, and again loved that, but then there was like this pressure because with a HND, it's not really much on its own.
Can I just ask
Yeah.
what HND is?
Sorry, it's higher national diploma.
Right, okay. Got you.
It's like half a degree. degree.
Okay.
So in reality, it's nothing.
Yeah.
And no one
You
gives
mean
a shit
nothing,
when they
yeah.
tell them I've got a HND. But
So
it
you
is,
meant to
It
get your,
sounds good though.
yeah, it does
so you
sound
meant to
good.
get your HND and then go on and finish it as like a degree level.
Right,
Yeah,
okay.
so you do like, you're supposed to do like 2 years HND and then like, I don't know if it's 1 or 2 years. For mine, it was 2. And I was supposed to go to uni for 2 years to top that up. Now, I said in the first episode, I wasn't asked about that, but there were so many problems going on at the time that I
Yeah.
decided that'll fix it. So went to uni. And the problem I had there straight away, which I did have at Mid Cheshire, is that I knew even at the end of by the end of Mid Cheshire that I wanted to be a portrait artist. I know that nothing else really did it for me. Like landscapes, not really. I'm not really into animal portraits. Like
Yeah.
it had to be like people,
Yeah.
people more than portraits. But yeah, and you have to show variety.
Yeah, so they make you do things that you know you're
Yeah,
not
that
going
I
to want to
knew
do.
I didn't want to do. So, and then I remember when I started uni, I had this impression, like, I don't want to say snobby because I don't know if it was snobby, but it was very much like anti-commercial. Like they didn't really want you sort of selling or anything
yeah,
like
I
that.
had that problem at uni as well.
Yeah, it seems like it's a common thing for a lot of people as well,
Yeah.
because I know I'm not the only one.
Yeah. So obviously our experiences will be a little bit different than yours because you did cakes at
Yeah.
uni, at
Well, I
college.
didn't. Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't even go to
But
uni.
for us, it was very like for I did an illustration degree,
Yeah.
and it was very like children's books. That's what illustrators do, and that's where they pushed you. So if you didn't want to do that,
You kind of like, what do you do?
what do you do?
Yeah.
Yeah. So as I said to Ellie, we did like a market episode, and I was saying, at uni they took us to a market on like a school trip kind of thing,
Yeah.
and that kind of showed me what you can do with it,
Yeah.
rather than just because I knew how to like design things, but I then didn't know what to do with that
Yeah.
design. Do you know what I
I
mean?
also think at markets as well, like there's so many, like there's ideas that people have that you wouldn't have even thought
yeah,
about.
yeah,
Mm.
definitely.
Like you can, there's so much stuff, isn't there?
Yeah.
I think a lot of the things that you learn are from being around other people, but I feel like I'm jumping ahead massively
That's
there,
okay.
so I'll reel it in. But I remember, I think the uni tutors could tell I wasn't happy early on, so they sort of called me in, you know, for like a little chat. And they started talking about it, and I said, listen, he said, where do you want to be? And I said, I'd like to do portraits and like commercial and try and sell them. I said,
Yeah.
like, you know, famous people, musicians, what I'm into. And he said, well, have a think about it. He said, do you want your work on cafe walls or do you want them on gallery walls?
Mm-hmm.
And I said cafe walls, and the look he gave me, it was the complete wrong answer, and it didn't even occur to me. But straight away from his reaction, I thought, this isn't for me. And I
Yeah.
knew at that moment it just wasn't for me. It wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
It wasn't anyway, because I was a mess around that time. But
Still are.
yeah, and yeah, I just let's just say things that have happened, like the studio, for example,
Yeah.
and getting that when I was like 18, right place, right time.
Yeah.
Uni, wrong place, wrong time. It just never would have worked. So I've not regretted that really.
Yeah.
But I will say that when I did drop out, I felt like this need to please people and that I might have let people down a
Yeah.
little bit. I hadn't. But I just had that feeling. No one had made me feel that way. I just felt that
Yeah,
way, that
no,
I'd
I
let people
completely get
down.
that.
But I think that made me work harder because I think I felt like I had a point to prove.
Yeah.
But I think that's because as well, like, you know, people leave school, they go to college and then they go to uni. That's like the thing that
yeah,
you do.
it's
Yeah.
what society.
So then if you don't do it, it's like, oh, am I like, do you know what I mean? You're
I'm
not
going against. The,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, it's this idea, isn't it, that you leave uni, you get a proper job and you just stay there for
Yeah.
years
Yeah,
and years and
but
years.
that's boring.
It's
Yeah.
boring, yeah.
I
well,
mean, fair enough if you want to do it.
Yeah, imagine like a student doctor or nurse listening to this and going,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, I'm not going to do that.
I'm quitting.
Yeah.
No, but I think there's like a mental attitude where you know already that you want to work for yourself.
yeah. Yeah.
And I think once you start, it's really hard to stop
Yeah.
as well.
Like I can't imagine now like being told what to do by a boss.
No, like even when I got this job, as much as I love it, but at first I was like, oh, because it's like you are getting told
Yeah.
by someone, but then you do get used to it in the end, and it's nice to have the balance. I think sometimes of like the pressure of yourself trying to run a business,
Yeah.
but then it's quite nice going into something where it's like, oh well, I don't have to think about
Yeah.
getting stock.
Yes.
Like people do
Yeah,
that for
it's
me
not
and
on
stuff.
my
Yeah.
head kind of
Yeah.
thing.
I quite like that about working, and it's just something to take you out of it for a few days as well. But I really struggle with authority now.
Yeah.
Really. I have to fight the urge to kick off sometimes, and I'm like, oh God, don't. Just
It's because
don't.
you're so used to yourself though and what you do.
Yeah.
So then when someone else tries to tell you, you're like, absolutely
Who
not.
are you?
Yeah, no, that's something that I've noticed more and more as I get older, that I am really struggling with authority. Maybe I'm just a twat. Thanks. So I think in conclusion, like I do think that arts courses especially do need to do more to prepare you for a career in the arts and show you different angles as well.
Yeah.
Because I felt like other than staying on and doing teaching, you know, like a
Yeah,
teaching
yeah.
diploma degree, whatever you call it, there wasn't much talk of what you could actually do
Yeah.
as a career.
Like even doing my degree, it was still kind of the vibe of like art isn't a real job.
Yeah.
And that was on an illustration degree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing you said for illustration, it's like children's books.
Yeah.
And for me, it was teaching,
Yeah.
really fine art, you know,
Yeah.
teach it. but I
Yeah,
just,
it's weird,
I
isn't it?
hate
But,
kids.
but maybe like if I'd,
Same.
but if I'd done like a business degree, would that have helped me more? Because I feel like although uni helped me with like the design aspect of my job, it didn't help me with like the business side of things. But maybe if I'd done a business, but then
See, I
is
think
that just generic business? Do you know what I mean?
yeah, because I always think this, like if I went to uni, I probably would have done a business degree.
Mm.
But then I also know a lot of people that have done them kind of degrees and come out of it and be like, well, I don't know what now.
Yeah.
And it's like, whereas we just dive straight into setting up a business,
fuck
and it's
it.
like you kind of just wing it.
Yeah,
Like
literally
there's
every
probably
day.
more information we could definitely, but I don't feel like I necessarily need it. Do you know what I
No.
mean? Like we've all,
It's going all right, isn't it?
yeah, exactly. So I feel like
We've
So
got this far.
is that 3 out of 3 of us that regret not doing some sort of business course?
Well,
I think it would be.
yeah, I don't know if I necessarily regret not doing it, but I think I don't know.
You
just
could have done it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you don't know unless you've done it. Like I might have done it and regretted doing it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I think the marketing side of it I'd be interested in.
Yeah.
Even though I'm literally the worst. But maybe that's why, because I feel like maybe if I'd done that, it would have like helped me
Yeah.
do that side of the business.
Yeah.
But I'm never going to know. I mean, obviously you can go to uni at any point, but I'm not going to now. So I'll never know.
I'm like that. I'm always like, don't rule it out. But I do still look occasionally at like local colleges and like night courses and see if they've got anything that.
Yeah.
Because I actually quite miss being in college.
Do yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
hate
sound
being
pathetic,
educated.
don't I? I sound like a peaks then, don't I? But- no, but I feel like I would get more from it now because
Oh,
I
yeah,
think I'd
definitely.
be paying more attention
Yeah.
than I was years ago.
I always think that because like years ago, like I wasn't bothered about
Didn't
like,
care,
yeah,
yeah.
I wasn't interested. Even for things like biology, like this is random, but now I think, oh, I'd love to know about
Yeah,
stuff that
yeah.
Yeah.
back then I was like, no. Or like have a pencil case, like I want to go and buy
Oh.
a nice pencil case because I don't need to write.
You're a grown up. You can own a pencil
Yeah, I
case.
know. I don't need
Aw.
one.
That's your birthday present,
That's so
sorted.
Thanks,
cute.
guys.
So on your, I'll keep wanting to say cake course, but I feel like what was the word that you said?
Well, you don't have to say professional bakery.
Professional baking.
Professional bakery course.
Do you think that they prepared you for a job in baking?
No.
Just taught you how to bake.
It wasn't even really teaching you how to. It was a bit of a weird one, to be honest, because I mean, for me, it was fine because I didn't pay for it, obviously, because I was 16. But there was people on there that had paid like $2,000 for this course, and like they all used to say like, you know, what are we paying for?
Yeah.
kind of thing,
Yeah.
because you'd go in on a Thursday. Obviously, at first they'd like teach you how to make bread and stuff, but they'd give you just like a sheet, like a recipe,
Right.
and then you just follow the recipe.
You could just do that at home
And-
online, probably.
Exactly. And then you'd basically bake stuff that would go into, they had like a cafe in the college, so you'd bake stuff and everything would go into there. So they were which is kind of weird when you think back to it, because it's like you were like doing a job basically.
Yeah,
and not
that's like
getting
child
paid for
labour.
it. Yeah.
Oh, I was like,
You
oh,
were like,
so-
that's really cute.
You were like child labour.
And then in the afternoon you do something specific, and then whatever you baked you took home with you.
Right.
And then the cake deck, it was just a bit, I don't know, it was a bit like, there was like a project and it was like, oh, you have to ice a wedding cake, but you don't actually ice a wedding cake. They give you polystyrene
Right,
things
okay.
and you like cover them in icing. So it was a bit weird. And then like in the afternoon you'd have theory, but again, or like sometimes on a Friday you'd be in at 8 and they'd send you home at 11:30 and be like, your day's done. You'd be like, okay. So I'm like, good for me, because I'd be like buzzing, like
Yeah.
long weekend, but everyone else that had paid had been like, well, we
Yeah.
want the money's worth
Yeah.
of what
No,
we've
definitely.
paid for. So it was a bit of a weird one. Like I enjoyed it, but again, I was 16, so it was fine for me.
Yeah.
But I would have been annoyed if I paid for it.
Oh
I
yeah,
think.
definitely.
Yeah.
But it didn't prepare you for the.
Oh no,
real
like
world.
everything I've learned now is like YouTube, TikTok,
Yeah.
or myself.
Yeah.
Like I don't really think I learned anything
Yeah.
from it. That's why in the end I dropped out as well, because the second year I was like, I'm not learning anything. It feels pointless and I just don't really want to be here.
Yeah.
So I think it was the best thing to drop out. Yeah.
So you don't regret that.
No, not at all. And I did enjoy the dog hotel when I worked there. But I feel like that gave me the kick up the arse to be like, you want
Yeah.
to do cake, do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
Cakes is your passion, not dogs.
yeah. I mean dogs are, but like job wise, yeah, cakes.
So I think that I've learnt more from the people around me than I did from like tutors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now actually sharing tips with each other I think is really, really useful for us. Even like obviously like Kate, you're not necessarily the same industry as us, if you know
Yeah.
what I mean. But even that, like we can be like, oh, I did this market, it was really good, we think you'd sell really well there.
Yeah.
Or do you know what I mean? I think that it's been really important for me, especially because like I work at home as well. Networking with people in our own industry
Yeah.
has been very, very useful for my business, because otherwise it is just like YouTube and TikTok, isn't it?
Yeah.
Otherwise.
I also think you never, when you start it out as well, you never think that you're going to make friends from doing
No.
something
No,
like
you
this.
don't
No.
actually.
Or like
no.
even get the tips. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no,
And then when you
definitely.
actually make friends, and then you can ask them things, and you can, as you say, like, be like, oh, I've done this and it's really good. Like,
Yeah.
you should do it. Like, that opens up a whole new
Yeah.
thing,
It does, doesn't it? It really does.
which is
And-
good.
And that's only really happened for me like in the past couple of years. Like,
Yeah.
I've been doing markets for quite a long time, but when at Woodside, basically.
Where did we meet?
Woodside.
Hey,
Yeah.
Why did I meet you all at one time?
Yeah, we were back to back one day.
I don't even remember my first time meeting you. I feel like I've just known you. Do you know what I mean?
That's
Oh,
what- that's
quite
what-
nice.
no, but I
actually.
feel like one day we were just like, hi, we're friends, and then we were.
That's what I always say about
And me and you actually,
Yeah.
to be honest. Like,
So yeah, we met in Woodside and it was cute.
So I know we said like we obviously learn from other people and like the people we meet along the way, but I also think you do learn from mistakes as well, and that's something that
Oh, yeah,
colleges
definitely.
and unis don't really teach you as well. Like
No.
you do have to make mistakes in order to
Yeah.
progress, because like I said, I know that when I left uni that I felt that I'd let a lot of people down, and I felt like I was already coming out of it a bit of a failure. Like I felt okay, I felt relieved, but still like a little bit, you know, like, oh, I'm not going to get a degree.
Yeah.
I've wasted so much time. I've got everybody's hopes up and what for. But as I say, I think I got ill almost immediately after as well. But then coming off the back of that and then getting back into the swing of things again, I did feel like I had a bit of a point to prove, because like now I look back at it and I think I didn't waste much time really. It wasn't that
No.
long. But then I thought, oh my God, I've wasted so much time. Like, this is
Yeah.
years of my life. And it wasn't in reality. And it won't seem that way as well the older that I get. But
Yeah.
at the time, it felt like so much time wasted that I had to get straight back in there straight away.
Yeah.
I felt like I was cracking on at the time, and I was 21. I felt like I was cracking on and that I'd be past it soon and that I wouldn't be
Yeah.
able to do anything, which is silly now, but I did genuinely feel that way. So I felt like, come on, like,
Yeah. No,
get a rocket up your ass.
I get that completely. Like, obviously, I didn't drop out, but when I finished uni, I didn't do anything with art for years and years and years. And I kind of felt like that time was all wasted. Like, one of my very first markets, when I got back into doing it, I was put next to the girl that I'd gone to uni with, and we actually lived together in uni.
that's weird.
And she hadn't took that break, and I was just the whole time I was like, look how much further ahead she is. Like, I wish I hadn't like wasted that time. But after that, it made me work harder. Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, similar to you.
Yeah.
But also, I feel like you always compare yourself to people at markets.
yeah.
Like, that's just, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether you were at the start of your business or like
Yeah.
5 years down the
Yeah,
line,
definitely.
you're still going to do it.
It's when you're that age as well, like sort of
Yeah.
teenager, early 20s. I think you do get into a habit of thinking, oh, look at her, she's so much further ahead than
Yeah.
me. Because you're still only just getting
Yeah.
into the real world, really.
Yeah. But like when you were saying, like when you got the studio, everyone was so much further ahead than you, but they've been doing it for years and were older than you, and
Yeah, it's like I didn't even take that into account at
Yeah.
the time. It was weird. I just felt like,
you focus on the negatives, though, don't you?
yeah, you almost sort of, you feel like a child,
Yeah.
even though you're not.
I still
And
feel like a
that's-
child now.
Yeah.
I know,
Me
I
too.
still feel a bit that way myself, yeah. But I have to remind myself sometimes, now you're 27, you're a grown woman,
Yeah.
speak up when you want to speak up.
Yeah.
And I do now,
Yeah, you do.
yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Don't we know it?
Yeah, so what I learned from that basically was like, don't waste any more time. And obviously, I still do fail at things. Like, I've had like product launches that have flopped and
Yeah.
things like that. But I think you've just got to like take it in your stride and learn from it, because if you're not learning from it, then it's just going to beat you, isn't it? And especially
Yeah.
when you're self-employed, everything feels so personal.
Yeah.
Like for you, if someone didn't like your cake.
Oh, I'd cry.
Yeah, but it is
I
like,
have
but,
cried.
but like in the cafe, someone didn't like their drink in the cafe.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you haven't put your heart in it.
Yeah, 'cause it's not my cafe.
Yeah, yeah,
But it is completely different when it's yours.
yeah.
Like, if someone told me they didn't like my cake, I'd be like, well, I'm going to close down. Like,
Yeah.
this is the end. I'm not doing it anymore.
You do feel like that though with your first mistake
Yeah.
as well, I think. But I think the people who have it worse are the ones that are like perfect for years and years and years and get nothing
Yeah.
wrong. Because I've noticed and I've seen it myself, people who seem to just sail through like doing
Yeah.
absolutely nothing, you know, no crisis, no nothing.
Yeah.
When it finally does hit them,
It's hard than anything.
it's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas the rest of us can sort of go, well, I fuck up 10 times a day.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Also, you probably
used to
like.
this.
I feel like you wouldn't know if there's like fucked up. Do you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
they wouldn't ever say it. Whereas
Yeah.
we probably would. Well, you guys post, so you probably would be like.
You tell us.
Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, exactly. But they probably wouldn't tell
No.
because they don't want to admit that
Yeah.
something's gone wrong.
yeah,
I
you have
listen
to
to
find the
things
funny
go
in
on.
it as well. I
Yeah.
think. I think
Oh,
that's
yeah.
the only way sometimes. I once one of the earlier mistakes I made was somebody wanted like a custom print, so they wanted the portrait but just with the words changing.
Right.
And they wanted it changed to a quote, and it was something like, don't let other people's opinions of you get you down. And that was a really easy job for me. All I had to do was just log onto the file and just make a copy of it and change the text, like dead easy. But I'd chosen to do this at 6 o'clock in the morning before I went to work. And I typed it all out, you know, got it all done, made a mock-up to send to him just to approve. And I didn't realise until later on when I checked my messages after work that I had written what I thought said don't let other people's opinions get you down. But what I had written and sent to him was, don't let other people's onions get you down.
No.
And all I could see on my notifications was, you know, that cry laugh emoji? And I thought, oh my God, like, why is he doing like?
Wait,
and
you
then I
sent
clicked-
it to him?
I'd sent
saying
that to him,
Oh,
yeah, to
right.
approve. And I was like, oh my God, Ellie, that's so unprofessional. Like, check your fucking spelling. You know what I mean? It's like, but he found it so funny that he not only wanted like the one that was spelt right, obviously, but he also wanted
The
that
onions
one.
one.
Yeah, and paid for it.
Stop it, he paid for
Yeah.
it.
That's amazing.
That's so funny.
Oh, I once did. It was like a drawing of like a beardy man, and it's a Beard Appreciation Society. And
Oh, I love that one.
So when I originally did it, I spelt appreciation wrong,
Oh,
and I
no.
went to this market and I sold loads of them, and I didn't realize till when I got home, and I was like, so many people have bought them today.
No.
Oh,
But the thing is,
God.
other people probably wouldn't even
No,
notice.
like that
Yeah.
could be still sitting on their wall. in
yeah,
their house.
literally. Yeah.
Well, we've had problems with this, haven't we, with the branding, where we've sent each other like mock-up images and things
Yeah.
for things that we've done for social media, and I've gone, Jade, what do you think of this? And you go, I don't know, I can't spell anymore.
Yeah.
And you go, Ellie, what do you think of the colour on this? I
Yeah.
don't know, I can't see colour
But especially
anymore.
like because we're doing it and then I'm sending it to you and then you're sending it back and then I'm
Yeah.
sending it to you, like altering it each time.
Yeah.
By the time it's like the fourth or fifth round, I'm like, that's not words anymore.
No, it's not. That's just thing.
Gibberish.
Yeah, yeah, it's weird.
My sister gets so annoyed at me when I do like captions and stuff because I always spell things wrong. And I'm like, I've not been to school for how many years? I don't write.
Aw.
The only thing I do is bake. Like, my
Yeah.
grammar's just not there, even though I did go to a grammar school. But no one would know.
No one did know.
No one did know, yeah. That's probably why.
I'm still
So
in
my
shock.
captions are wrong.
I can't believe you went to a grammar
I know,
school.
I can't.
Anyway.
So on a whole, maybe it's because maybe I should have done a business degree. Maybe I did the wrong thing.
You wouldn't have learned what you'd
But
have learned
no,
now, though, had you
exactly.
not done that.
Maybe I should have done an illustration degree
Mm.
and a business degree, but that would have took up so much of my life and my money, and I wouldn't have had funding for both. And
Yeah. But you're never going to know now, so
No.
there's no point in
No,
being
I'm
like,
not.
oh, should
Yeah.
I?
yeah, but I think on a whole, actually, just diving into business has been a lot more helpful to my business than my education ever was. Like,
Yeah, yeah. Because I feel like I see it from both sides. Because a lot of my friends, well, most of my friends went to uni actually.
Mm.
Like, there's a couple that didn't, and like a few of them have obviously got jobs in their degree, but
Yeah.
then some of them haven't as
Yeah.
well, and they're kind of like, oh, I don't know
Yeah.
what to do now, and it's like,
it just doesn't prepare you for the real world at all.
no,
No.
it doesn't.
It like I like good skills, but I didn't know how to then put them into practice.
Yeah.
No, because a lot of like school and uni and stuff, like it is just you're working towards exams.
Yeah.
That's what you're
Yeah.
doing, and you're working towards passing exams.
Yeah.
So then once you've done that and you've got your degree,
Then what?
it's like then what? Yeah.
Yeah.
And like if you know what you want to do with your degree, then it's
Yeah.
fine. But a lot of people again get their degree and then they're like, well, I don't know what I want to do with it.
Yeah.
And they're
Depends
at
on the kind of
same
course
thing.
that you're on. I'd imagine
Yeah.
for us being on art courses, I know your illustration now is fine art,
Yeah.
and you, I want to say, it's not a cake degree, is
Cake
it?
degree.
A
Um,
level 2 diploma.
Also bread.
a level 2 diploma.
Yeah, bread and
Um,
pastry.
But it's just, it's not the, you're not going to walk into a job the next
No.
day, basically. You're just
No.
not.
No.
You know?
Especially like for us, I don't know how to do any other job in
Yeah.
in art in
Mm.
my
Mm-hmm.
subject, because I don't know how to I don't know how to freelance properly. I don't know how to get a job as like an in-house designer somewhere, and they're the only jobs that I know of. Like,
Mm.
do you know what I mean? But like for you, I'm not saying like it's easy for you because I don't think it is at all.
Yeah.
But like, what was your job options? Like your own business, which you didn't know how to do,
Yeah.
or like the cafe kind of job, like
Yeah,
where
or
you go
working
and
like a
bake
bakery.
somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I
And
don't
now
know
I'm
what other
doing
jobs
both.
are. Yeah. I don't know what other jobs there are. But
I mean, there's probably, obviously there's like the teaching side of it. You can
Yeah.
teach people how to bake, but
Mm.
I mean, I just wouldn't want to do that.
no.
But I think with baking, there's actually not much else
No.
you can do. Like, I feel like a lot of people that bake do either start their own business or they work for a bakery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're the things that you want to know about
Yeah,
when you're being educated in
Exactly.
that subject,
but you don't.
but you don't.
And the other thing as well is like, no one teaches you about like finances and like,
Oh,
Yeah.
you know, all that kind of
Mm.
stuff.
Yeah. How'd you learn how to do taxes? Nobody's ever taught me that.
I know, I just wing it every year.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
wing
that's-
it, but do you know what I mean? You just,
think
you
it-
just have to do
Yeah.
it.
I can't speak for unis because obviously I wasn't there long at all. I think I was there about 8 weeks, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But colleges seem to only want to prepare you to go on to uni.
Yeah.
They don't want
Yeah.
you to, because
Yeah.
it's only good for their numbers, isn't it? Which
Yeah.
does make sense, you know what I mean? They've got to think about themselves
Yeah.
and their own
They
statistics.
just want the highest amount of people to pass.
Yeah, and fair enough. But also, I would have appreciated somebody sitting me down and going, "This is a tax return.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
You're going to have a meltdown over these."
Every year, but you have to do it.
This is how you do it.
But I don't know anyone that doesn't panic about doing the tax return.
Oh no, it's like the biggest stress every
It
year,
is,
and I
isn't it?
always leave it till last
Yeah,
minute,
same.
like just before the
Oh,
deadline. And my table was like covered in receipts. There was just receipts
Hey.
everywhere because
bad
I'm
with the
very
receipt.
unorganised.
Yeah.
I feel like me and you are quite similar. In
Yeah,
that
we are.
sense. Yeah, very.
I
like-
bought a little folder for mine though to divvy them up by the month.
See, that's what I need to
Yeah,
do because
me
I just
too.
had, when I tell you I had 3 carrier bags full of receipts and
That's
I
what
just
my
had
mum
to
does,
sort
and
them.
it gives me anxiety.
Yeah.
Do you know what I noticed though this time? Some of the receipts from like earlier on in the year faded really badly.
Yeah, they fade.
Oh.
That was like mine, and I was like, oh, I
I've
don't
started
know what to do.
hairspraying mine. I don't know if it's going to work.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Maybe
I'll
if
let
you
you
keep
know.
them in a folder though, like
Yeah,
they'll
I'll
be
let you know
better.
next year, guys, if it works.
Can't wait. We'll regroup.
Next January.
No, but they are the things that you're like,
That's what you want
why
to
did no one
learn.
teach me that yet? And like how to market your business or
Yep, social media.
how to sell your illustration. Like even if you don't run your own business, like I listen to podcasts about with illustrators that like freelance, and some of them like work for companies, some of them just take commissions, and I'm like, I don't know how to do those things.
No. And I do think dealing with your money when you're self-employed is really hard.
Yeah.
Because it's like a lot of people like in a normal job have a salary.
Yeah.
And like you can divide that salary, whereas I mean it's the same for all of us. Like
Yeah.
you don't know how much you're gonna make every
And you
month.
don't know when it's
always
gonna
different
come.
and you don't know when it's
Yeah.
gonna come. Especially like obviously these months of the year, they are quieter, a lot
Yeah.
quieter
Yeah.
than the rest. So it's like it's hard to plan.
Yeah. But I try and put most of it back into the business as well, which is also shit. Like
Because then
that's,
you have nothing.
yeah. But it's just really fucking hard not knowing, not having like, oh, it's okay because payday's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Even like if you know you've got like the wedding coming up, say, but something could still go wrong.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
And like when I think about like, say if I do a cake and it's like what £60,
Yeah.
stunning. But then it's like, oh, I need to buy
Yeah.
a tub of Biscoff spread, which is £50.
Yeah.
So it's like you
Yeah.
feel like you've made nothing. Yeah, I know.
What?
Spenny. It's a big tub, but
It's not
it's
even nice.
What?
Do you like Biscoff?
No.
That's crazy.
Disgusting.
But like even when you think about that, it's
Yeah.
like, well, I'm
Yeah.
left with nothing.
No, literally, and like even like pricing yourself. Like I'm sure there's people out there that are like, oh, their work's too expensive. Kate's Bakes is pricey, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, but it's not.
It's
not.
literally not. When you
Ooh, I will say something though. College proper tried to teach me about pricing once, and
Oh,
I
really?
kicked the fuck off. Like, no, I look back on this and I cringe so badly because I thought I was in the right at the time, and the older I get, the more I'm like, oh my god, you were so wrong. So at the end of the year, we had like an exhibition thing, and it was in Castle Park in Frodsham, which is like a little art gallery there. And we all had to be there on the day, and I think there was about 12 of us on this HND course. We were all
she's
different
just getting the
ages.
HND in.
HND. Ellie did a HND course.
HND course for anyone who didn't know.
Okay. But we were all hanging it one day, and then the tutor went round with a little checkboard, and he wanted to know what we were pricing our artwork at. And everybody was like well into the hundreds, like 200, 300, 400 for an original piece of artwork. And there was me with this, I think it was a 50 by 50 canvas, so 50 centimetres by 50 centimetres. So not that big, but also not small. Original painting. And I wanted to charge, I think it was £25. And he got to me, and obviously my last name's W, so I was bottom of the list, and I was like 25 quid after everybody else had been like
Oh,
400,
Ellie.
300, and they were like, no, Ellie, you need to go higher than that. And I said, no, I'm not. And I really booted off over it, and even the rest of him was just stood in a room full of people, and it was so awkward. But I just went, I'm not doing it, I'm not changing it. It's 25 quid. Write down 25 on your little sticker. It's 25 quid. I was shit. And
Did you budge, or did you sell it for 25 quid? Did it sell?
no, I've still got it, so it mustn't have sold. But it wasn't very good. I didn't like it as well. That's why I didn't want to. But the tutor went to me. He said, "You are underpricing
Yeah.
everybody here."
Yeah.
And I couldn't see it at the time at all. I think I literally said to him, "What has everybody else got to do with this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is about the painting, which
Yeah.
I don't like, and I want to charge 25 quid for it."
But you don't appreciate, like, when you're younger as well, the time and everything,
No.
effort that goes into stuff, and that's what you have to account for.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I say, when I look back at that now, I really do cringe.
Oh.
Because
'Cause
I
you're a
was
dickhead.
being an absolute arsehole. Yeah, no, but he was completely right.
Yeah.
I was underpricing everybody
Yeah.
else. I was devaluing the whole exhibition.
Yeah.
But I didn't, and it seems mad now because I'll preach that to people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but I didn't follow it myself back then. But again, you have to learn from that. And like I say, I look back and I just go, ooh, every
Yeah.
time I think
Yeah.
about that.
At least
But
you learned something.
yeah, it's those mistakes though as well. And to be fair, I can't really blame college too much. They tried to tell me
Yeah,
that, and
they
I was
did.
just having none of it.
Yeah.
That's actually a pro college statement.
But it's something that still sticks in my head now while I'm pricing
Yeah.
things. I sort
Yeah.
of think I don't ever want to undervalue anybody else.
Yeah. No, I'd never thought of it that way, to be fair.
No, and
See,
I want to make money.
My
Yeah.
college didn't do anything like that. Like there was nothing to
mine
do with
didn't.
like they never said about what's the next step.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It was kind of just you're here, you're baking bread, you're
Yeah.
baking pastry, off you go.
Yeah.
Like there was nothing about like
Bon appetit.
yeah, enjoy. But there was nothing about anything
Yeah.
else.
No, mine
So I
wasn't.
feel like that was a bit rubbish in that sense
Yeah.
because it was like, well, and like school as well. My school was very like, you get like, you know, a big girl job and like a certain
Yeah.
job. There was no like, oh, you run your own business
Yeah.
or like all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's
They
no
never,
talk of
No.
that at
No.
all, is there?
and I
There's
don't know if it's
not.
changed now because a lot more people have started like
Yeah,
small businesses. Because
yeah.
I think in the past few years, like I don't know if you agree, but there is
Yeah.
more.
Since
I feel
like
God, yeah,
COVID,
there
I
is,
think.
yeah.
yeah, 100%.
Well, we want to do an
Yeah.
episode on that, don't
Yeah,
we?
we're going to do an episode on
Yeah.
how COVID changed our businesses.
Or
Yeah.
started
Or
our
started
businesses.
All started them, yeah. But yeah, there was never any talk of that. So it's like
No.
that wasn't even a thought in my mind. I don't even know.
No.
I think it was my sister that was like, you should make this a
Yeah.
business. And then I remember making a Facebook page and I got an order like the first day and I was like, woo! So excited. Where's my hat?
That's so cute. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think like in school I didn't know you could run your own business
No.
unless it was like, you know, like John's dad runs a car dealership. Do you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like that kind of thing. Like I didn't know this kind of thing existed, like a small business where you
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you just do it.
Yeah.
You just dive in and just
Yeah.
be like,
See,
okay.
in school, I knew I wanted to run my own business, but only because I'd seen my dad do it.
right.
So my
okay.
dad ran a care agency, which is obviously completely
Yeah.
different and much
Mhm.
more high stress. But I remember just watching him and thinking, oh, he doesn't like answer to anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the buck stops with him, and I quite respected that. I
Yeah.
thought, oh,
Yeah.
I'd love to be like that. Obviously, you only, you know, it looks easier than what it is when
It's
you're
the
a
dream
kid.
until it happens. And then
Yeah, and well, yeah, I mean, but I always used to think, oh, I'd rather do that because he doesn't answer to anybody.
Yeah.
And that was the way I saw it.
Yeah.
And that was it. Didn't know anything about what goes into it.
yeah, you just did it.
Yeah, I just thought I'll run my own business one day. I don't know what doing, but I'll run my own business one day.
Aw.
But it was as simple as that. And up till then, there'd never been any sort of, you
Yeah.
know, that was when I was a kid. And I mean,
Yeah.
about probably 8, 9, 10, something like
Aw.
that.
Yeah.
But then the next 10 years in education,
Didn't
nothing.
help you towards that
No, not
whatsoever.
really. No.
No,
No,
same.
it's something you have to have the motivation to
Yeah.
want to do it.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, like everything that I learned about starting a business was from either other people that had started a business or Google.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like nobody ever taught me
No,
that.
and I don't think I'd still be doing it if it wasn't for markets, genuinely.
No.
I think that is such a help
Yeah.
Mm.
Same.
in the motivation side of it as well.
Yeah.
I feel like seeing like other people and
Yeah.
your friends do it.
Like it just, I don't want to like, obviously I'm very grateful that I get to do this as a job, but it's quite just like every day is the same sometimes.
Yeah.
But if you know like, oh, I've got that coming up.
Then it's
It's nice,
exciting.
isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just something.
Like if you know
to-
you're doing a market, it's like, ooh, I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm going to work.
Yeah. And you
Yeah,
know as
it's
well,
not,
like you've
yeah.
got prep to do for that as well, which
Yeah.
is nice sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
probably not for you because it's got to all be done like the day before.
Well, yeah, sometimes it's stressful. But if I've not done it for a while or if I've not got loads on, then it's nice because
Yeah.
it's like it breaks up my week a little bit and
Yeah.
then it's like, oh, I've got an exciting day and I can make
Aw,
money.
in the shed.
In the shed, yeah. Put my tunes on.
Oh, I love that for you. It's so
So cute.
That's our means. It's time for Q&A.
You're going to get no reaction off me. I'm sick of
Be
doing.
enthusiastic.
We're 4 episodes in and I'm
Thank
sick
you,
of
Kate.
doing me. Yes.
Well, next time you can say it's time for Q&A.
Okay.
Okay, this little segment of the podcast is where we answer a couple of questions from our Instagram followers. So today we've got 2 questions.
Our first question is from Jill Felt Factory, and they have asked, "What's the best piece of advice you've been given that works?"
Ooh, that's a good
Ooh.
question.
It is a good question.
That's a
This
good
made me
question.
think.
Do you want to start off?
Made me know because I actually, even now, I've been thinking about this question for like a week, and I'm still like, I don't know. So much.
It's hard, isn't it? Because like I feel like we've mentioned, like we're always giving each other tips and advice, and I'm always trying to do better, like outdo yourself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm always trying to learn new things and stuff. But I think the best thing I ever, it wasn't even like somebody gave me advice. It was somebody posted it on Instagram, like another small business. And I was like, shit, that's really good. But they did post it as advice, so I'm going to count it. But they said multiple, they didn't because that wasn't words. They said multiple income streams. So
Hard to say.
it is hard to say. So at the time, I was just like selling on Etsy. And then they were like, oh, well, we sell on Etsy. We have our own website. We sell our cards at this website. We sell in like physical shops. And I was like, I never thought about any of that.
Yeah.
I was just on Etsy and like hoping for the best and got like one order every month or something.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? So now like I sell on Etsy, I have my own website, I'm stocked in loads of shops, and I sell my cards on Thoughtful, I sell designs on Redbubble and all things like that. And it's just, like we were saying before, like you never know when the money's coming in. But although like most of those things are not particularly high income,
It all adds
it
up.
trickles through the month.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it gets you through.
Mhm.
So I think that's probably the best advice that I've been given that I've put into practice.
That's something even I've only recently started. I've only recently come to that sort of realisation as well,
Yeah.
and I've spoke to you about it, haven't
Yeah.
I? But that's something that I definitely need to look
Yeah,
at
you do.
more in the future. But we'll go into that in another episode. And yeah, I don't know. Honestly, this question, like my head fell off. I was like, you know, when you sit and you think about it and you sort of almost having an existential crisis, I was like, what is the best bit of advice? It's hard for me because I don't listen.
Yeah.
But there is a lot when I actually think about it, because I know I've mentioned in a previous episode about my boss that when I was nervous about doing my first market, and she'd said to me, think of it as exposure rather than sales. If you're having it, if you feel like, you know, you're not making much money,
Yeah.
it'll stop you, you know, sort of
Crying.
spiraling, crying. And that really worked at the time as well. But also, again, you know, people going to me, I always have a problem with things that are out of my control. I think I am a little bit of a
Yeah.
control freak. So when something happens that's beyond my control, I panic, and there's
Yeah.
no reason to panic because you can't control it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But literally, I'd said to me before by other artists as well, you know, you can't control things that are beyond your control, but you
Yeah.
can control the way you respond to that. So make the
Mm,
best of a
love
bad
that.
situation, and I still think that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
You are good at
Yeah, you have to put these things into practice sometimes, because you know, if we sat there stressing about things like COVID, for example,
Yeah.
like, you know, when you're self-employed, you're not feeling well, but you've got loads to do. It can be really stressful.
Yeah.
You've got to ride it out. There's nothing
Yeah.
you can do.
But like, I don't want to keep going back to COVID, but COVID, for example, for you use that time to start your business.
Yeah, because somebody else had advised me
Yeah.
to do that.
Well,
It hadn't
yeah.
even
That's
occurred
good
to me.
advice you got.
I would say, there you go. I mean, panicked, spiraled,
Yeah.
started really stressing, and I was literally thought of just sitting in the house and feel sorry for myself then
Yeah.
for however many months, and then somebody else was like, "Don't do that, it's stupid."
Start a business, you stupid bitch.
Yeah,
Be lazy.
no, but I think it's crazy that I needed somebody to tell me that. But I think
Yeah.
you just to get too caught up in your own head
Yeah,
sometimes, and sometimes someone can point out something that's so obvious.
Yeah.
You need someone's clear head to just
Yeah,
be like,
you need someone to go, sit down,
Do
shut
it.
up, listen to me.
Yeah.
And it's something I am quite grateful for, actually, and I think that's again why I probably struggle to work on my own.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because you need someone
But
telling you
even
what to do.
relating it back to the theme, I think
Mm.
I found college really useful, because to be honest, I think I pretty much got on with everybody on my course,
Yeah.
and I was
Yeah.
quite, you know, dead easy to speak to the people around me.
Yeah.
And again, it's just a different, keep saying this all the way through the podcast,
Different
but
perspective.
it's a different perspective. I think it really does work wonders.
Yeah, it does. You're right. That is good advice.
Thank you.
yeah, that is.
I'm going to put that
I'll
into
take
practice.
that, yeah.
Thank you.
Take that on.
Jay's just going to copy everything I've said now to make it look like it was her that said it.
So
Ellie.
I'll edit it out.
Ellie had a clever thought.
What?
Break out the champagne.
Kate, what's the best advice you've ever been given?
So I actually don't think I've been given any advice. But I feel like my thing more is like you guys and my friends that tell me to just keep going, because I'm really bad for
Oh.
motivation.
Are we not your friends?
You guys and my friends.
You guys are my
Bitch.
Alright, let me reword. My friends is a collective.
I can leave
You
that in. I
including
want that on
you.
record.
You guys and my other friends is what she meant.
No, but like you're all very supportive in the sense that you're like, why would you stop? Like you've
Yeah.
got amazing cakes, like keep going. And like all my other friends have like we've all got matching Kate's Bakes hoodies that I've made them all.
Oh,
Where are ours?
You can have some when you've reached the level of friendship.
All right, okay.
But I feel like that's my motivation, because I'm like, well,
Oh.
you know, like if I stops, then
Can't let all them
that would
down.
stop. Yeah,
Yeah.
can't wear your hoodies anymore. So I feel like I know that's not advice, but
Keep going.
that keeps me
That is
going
good
out of
advice.
everything.
Yeah.
Like more than advice, because I feel like if someone gave me advice, I'd be like, meh.
Yeah.
I might take it, I might not.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like my friends are
Aw.
a big thing.
That's
So
super
thanks,
cute.
guys,
Aw.
including you, obviously.
Fucking well,
How
thanks,
wholesome.
sir.
I love that. You're so cute.
Thanks.
You're much cuter than I thought.
Oh, we're learning a lot.
Okay, so the next question is from Liverpool Leopard, and they've asked, I know you both do markets, and obviously I've put this one in at this episode because Kate also does markets.
I do.
What do you like most about doing markets, and what do you like least about doing markets? should we go like, dislike?
Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Okay. So my favourite thing is meeting my customers face to face. I think it's really, really, really fucking cute when somebody is physically stood in front of you and they're telling you that they like what you've made.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. And I don't want to be like, it gives me a big head, but it obviously does.
Oh, yeah, but
but
that's
it's just
good.
really nice, isn't it? It's nice that they've come to the market. It's nice that they like your work. It's nice that they've told you that they like your work.
Mhm.
It's just
It makes you feel good.
warm and fuzzy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my favourite thing about doing markets, I think. Because you don't get that when you sell online, really. Like,
No,
you might
you
get a good
don't.
review, but
Yeah, good reviews like a perk, and obviously when they order, it's a perk. But
Yeah.
between that, nothing.
no.
No.
Like, I could hate it and still give a good review. But if you're telling me with your face, I'm going to know if you're lying. Do you know what I mean? Like, I market.
You're staring into my soul.
Because I know you're always lying to me.
Gotta be honest.
So, yeah, that's my favourite thing about markets, I think.
Yeah, I agree. It's like the social side of things as well.
Mm.
Like it is, especially when you're with people that you know or even familiar with. Like
Yeah.
I think that makes all the difference. But again, you know, meeting your customers face to face, it's not only nice, but it's also useful.
Yeah.
Because
no,
you
it
actually
is.
see who's buying your stuff and what
Mm.
they think of,
Like
you know,
what your
each
demographic
thing.
is.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think that's really useful for business, way more so than selling online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
And that in itself is motivating as well, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and you, as I say, you know, you see sort of genuine reaction, and
Yeah.
you know they'll actually tell you what it's for, who it's
Yeah.
for, where they're going to put it, and it's so nice. I think, and I honestly think that markets for me, I don't know what it is, but I could have the worst market in the world, like it could be soul destroying, and I'd still go home and go, oh, when's the next one?
No,
Like it's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Or like I've
like
had
an
a good
addiction.
day, even
Yeah.
though you haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I
It's
don't
just
know
nice to
what
be
it
out,
is.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe we are, yeah. Maybe it's just nice to be out the house. Maybe we're pathetic, all of us. But no, I just think it's that, and I really look forward to the next one all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
And like when I've got nothing booked in, I feel a bit edgy.
Yeah.
I've got nothing booked in at the moment, and I am
Yeah.
edgy.
Yeah.
Itching to get back out there.
Yeah,
No,
it's
I
nice
feel
to have the
same.
time off, you know,
Yeah.
from like time to time. But
Mhm.
yeah, I do. If I had nothing on for too long,
Yeah.
I'd really miss it.
We're
And I
lucky the
feel
podcast's
so
been keeping us
jealous
busy,
as
hasn't
well
it?
when I see like people's Instagrams and they're at markets. I'm like, oh, wish I was there.
Aww.
For no reason.
Yeah, to be fair, you've come with me on more than one occasion to a market where you weren't trading. 'cause
Yeah,
you
I just
didn't
like
wanna
being
miss
there.
out.
I like going to them as well, though. I just like it. I like being around
Yeah.
sort of small businesses. I like shopping with small businesses.
Yeah.
I just like the whole vibe. I'm a
So
fan.
cute.
10 out of 10.
Yeah. I get that. I feel like I hype myself up for market season. I'm like, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Like, bring it on.
Yeah.
Love it. I think my favourite thing is probably when people are like, oh, I've had your cakes before. Like, they're amazing. Like, we've come
Yeah.
back for more. Or like, not we've come here just for you. But do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, we've
no,
come here
that
for
is-
your
yeah.
cakes. And I'm
They
like,
fucking do. I've done markets for
Yeah,
people
they
all day
do.
just for you.
I don't want to make me sound big-headed, but it's nice when people say that because it's like, again, that's motivating to be like, okay, I'm gonna keep going. People,
Fine, I'll make more cakes.
Fine, I'll do more cookie pie for Jade. But like, I like it as well when people have like certain things, like they'll be like,
Yeah.
I'm here, and like a lot of the time now I recognize people, so I'm like, I know what you're here for.
Yeah.
Like, I just put it in a bag for you, which is really nice.
Like, I can never remember what the thing is that I like, but I'm always like, "Kate,
Yeah.
can I have one of those things?" And you're like, yeah, it's in the
I
bag
remember,
already.
yeah, the last market, someone, I don't know if it was you. Maybe it'd come up and been like, Jade wants whatever she has.
Yeah,
and
it
I
was,
just knew,
yeah.
and I just put it in a bag. So, do you know what I mean? I knew. And I like that as well. You get to know what people like.
Yeah, the usual.
Yeah, the usual.
I like the corn a bit of a brownie.
Yeah, I remember that. Don't know if I knew that one.
You do now.
Caught me out
Write
there.
it down.
I will. It's in my head.
So what do we like least?
I fucking hate
Oh, gosh.
setting up and packing down.
I agree.
Hate it. Like, to the point where that's the only time during a market where I'm like, I don't want to do markets anymore.
Yeah.
I think the packing down at the end.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, you've never got anything left.
Never got anything left.
Yeah,
Oh
actually,
dear, do
okay,
you have
wait.
to wash your tablecloth? What a shame.
Sometimes I don't even do it. No, I'm joking.
Oh, I've got so many empty boxes to take home.
No, but it's like the carrying it to the from the car to the
Yeah.
place, sweating. I'm a very sweaty gal,
You need
so
a
I'm
boyfriend.
like, hey,
You need a boyfriend.
anyone out there?
Kate is single.
Kate is very single, but yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's shit, isn't it?
It's rubbish.
See, I'm fortunate that I do have a boyfriend.
Excuse me, I've done it for you.
You have done it for me, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah,
am
I
fortunate.
can only agree. You know, when you're setting up sometimes and like you come in every morning and there's like, if you've got a table there, just like an empty table.
Yeah.
So sometimes I see like me boxes on the floor and like a table and I think, oh, why the fuck do I put myself through this? And then I think the same when Kate rocks up.
You really had to get that in there, didn't you?
I wrote it. I'm a little cheaty.
You're so cute.
You're
Stop
horrible.
it now. She is horrible, isn't she?
Horrible girl.
But that empty table is so daunting, isn't it?
Yeah, like I think, do you know what? I could just be a normal person now and be having a nice fucking breakfast somewhere
Yeah.
out, like, you know, just living my best life.
Yeah.
But I'm not. I'm looking at 50 boxes
Yeah.
and a tabletop.
Yeah.
And
Do
I
you know
don't
what?
want to do it.
When people rock up with like one suitcase, I'm like,
Yeah.
I know obviously I don't have that much, so I feel like I'm being dramatic. But my thing is
Yeah,
heavy
yeah.
boards. I have to carry heavy boards, and
Yeah.
they're the bane of my life.
Yeah.
But when people rock up with one suitcase, and I'm like, oh, I wish that
Wait,
was
I'm
me.
trying to get like that, you know, but I know I can't be. I
Yeah.
just can't. I've got
Well,
too
I've been
much
doing
stuff.
markets for 4 years, and I still don't have a trolley. And I think I just need
Oh,
to get a
mate.
trolley.
Oh, you need a trolley.
I need
yeah,
a trolley,
you
and I
do.
don't have one.
Get a trolley.
Get a trolley.
Yeah,
I'm
gonna
you
get
do
a
like
trolley.
100 trips back and forth to the car.
I know,
and that
get my
stresses me
steps
out.
in.
But also, my mood can proper turn when I'm setting up. Like, if one thing goes
You're
wrong.
vile.
Full stop.
I don't think you've seen me in full horrible mood when I'm setting up.
Even medium, I don't like.
Oh, right.
Medium mode's bad enough.
It's a bad sign, isn't it? No, I don't know what it is. I don't act like that any of the time. But when something goes wrong when I'm setting up, oh my God.
It's because you're under a time limit, though. I
Yeah.
think,
Yeah,
as
it
well,
is.
aren't
It's the
you?
time
And
limit
you can
as
see,
well.
and when everyone else is set up and they're sat like this, usually
Yeah.
that's me, to be fair.
I can literally be sat there putting up my grids going, fuck, 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 fuck,
Yeah.
fuck. I just hate it. I think
Yeah.
people must think I'm having some sort of like meltdown in the corner, and I am most of the
But
time.
yours could fall down easy, like the grids
Yeah.
and stuff. So I think that's
And they
stressful.
do.
Yeah.
Oh, they have once, but I'm not talking about that today. I'm still traumatised.
But I feel like for Kate, there's not much that can go wrong.
No,
Unless you, like, drop all the cakes
or
or-
the one thing I hate about markets is if it's an outdoor one and it's a hot day and you can
Oh.
just
Oh,
slowly
yeah.
see the cookie pies.
Oh,
They're
no.
just flattening and it's like, oh my God. And then some people are like, it's fine, I'll lick it out the bag. Like, don't worry. And
Oh.
other people are like, I'm not having that. And I'm like, well,
Oh.
I've just wasted all this money on Nutella. So that's the one thing I hate. The sun.
I have
love the
seen
sun,
that.
though.
Yeah, I've been next to somebody selling chocolate once on an outdoor
God.
market in summer, and it's been a bit.
Oh,
You just feel that bad for them,
Yeah.
don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, markets as well that start too early in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
That's not a
days.
vibe. But also, if there's an evening one, I'm like, this is too late at night, isn't it?
No, I'd
I've
rather
never
do
done
an
an
evening.
evening one.
Yeah.
I know that's such a lie I
That
have.
is a
Yeah.
lie.
Yeah, I literally have. In my head, I was thinking, oh, mine are like day ones. Do you know what I love? You wouldn't do these ones, but a school fair.
Ugh.
Yeah.
They are 2 hours long, and it's like
Kids
you
love
sell
cake,
out. Do you know
yeah.
what I mean?
We
It's
wouldn't at a
great.
school fair,
No,
I
we
don't think.
No, you wouldn't at a school fair. But I mean, like,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, this is the other thing I hate about markets. I feel like I could give a list. Is like if I sell out, which obviously amazing, love it. But then if I have one the next day, say I didn't finish a market
Yeah.
till 8, go home and have to bake everything again.
Yeah.
Mm.
And because I'm unorganised, I never have the ingredients. So it's like, have to go to the shop on the way
Aw.
home, have to stock up, have to bake again.
Yeah.
But that's, yeah, it is worth it. Like by the end of like Sunday night, I'm like, oh, good weekend, like stunning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But on a Saturday
But
night,
it's
I'm
a
like,
lot, isn't
I
that's
do
not what I
think
wanna
it.
be doing.
I do feel sorry for bakers though, because at the end of the day, we don't sell.
No.
We put it in a box
We go home and leave it.
and
Yeah.
leave it and sell it the next time.
Yeah.
But if you
Yeah.
don't sell, that's the thing. If you sell out,
What
it's
do you do with all the
amazing.
cakes if you don't sell them?
Well, I like to do, you know, like little treat boxes on Instagram or
Mm.
Facebook and sell it that way. Other times that I'm lazy and don't, they just sit in a box for a bit and then I'm like, everyone should eat them. But my mum and dad don't eat cake, so
Stop
it's
it.
like one of them where I have loads left or I'll
Aw.
give them to friends and stuff like
Aw.
that. But I'm quite fortunate in a lot of the time, again, not to make me sound big-headed, but I do sell out quite a lot, which
Yeah.
is good.
I don't think I've
Um,
ever seen you not sell out or not close to sell out. you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
there's been a few times where I've been left with loads and I've been like, shit, what do I do now? Because also it's such a waste of money as well.
Mm.
But that's the
Yeah.
life of a
You
business.
just live on cake for a bit.
Yeah, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Okay, so that's pretty much it for today. Coming your way in 2 weeks, we'll be talking about imposter syndrome and finding your self-confidence, and we'll be joined by the fabulous Karina from Liverpool Leopards. She makes the most gorgeous leopard print homeware, and we are both obsessed with her. So we'll see you in 2 weeks. In the meantime, don't forget to give us a follow on Instagram. You can find us at Really Fucking Trying, and you can also message us on there with any topics that you'd like us to cover, any questions that you have, and if you fancy joining us for a chat, there's a guest application form in our bio. Thanks.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.